What is going on, everybody? Zach RC here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome along to episode 92 of the F1 Ultimate Career Series for the British Grand Prix. If you guys did miss the last episode, make sure to go check that one out before you see this one. And as always, if you are new around here, then make sure to get subscribed for more future F1 content as the series continues on. So, round 9 today into the second half of the 2025 season and our last chance to take another victory at the British Grand Prix. Of course, to add to our victory back in 2022, the year of our first World Championship. And of course, only 8 races to go in the entire Ultimate Career Series here. So getting ready to finish this campaign off on a high note over the course of the next 8 rounds. Leading our 2 main rivalries, one with our teammate and one of course with Verstappen, our championship rival, now leading by 10 points in the World Championship. We'll have another look at the standings in just a moment. But of course, R&D points we spent first of all. I wanted to go for a powertrain upgrade, but none of them are actually available for us to go after for the minute. So we'll go back to repairing that chassis upgrade from last episode. So have that in for the next Grand Prix after this one in Belgium. And I think that's all we can do in terms of resource points for now. So I have to wait and see potentially if any we need repairing. We've got a few in the bank to try and sort those out. In terms of our power unit, looks all okay. The ICE, going to try and run with it for one more race. The energy store, I'm going to change before qualifying, I should think. And in terms of the World Championship, 10 points to Verstappen. But Norris won in Austria last time out. He's now 3rd place, the 3rd driver to hit 100 points this season. And is closing in. He's not too far off for the minute. So he's got every chance of trying to come back in this championship. Of course, remember this race last season, Verstappen and Norris took each other out as Hamilton's powertrain upgrade fails. So good thing we've got those resource points to make use of those and put those towards fixing his upgrade. But as I say, Verstappen and Norris came to blows in this Grand Prix last year, and I'd hope for more of the same this time around, try and get us a bit more of a lead in the standings. But in terms of prep, that's all that needs to be done in terms of upgrades, that sort of thing. Now it's time to head to Silverstone and get our final home race weekend underway.
Welcome along, everybody, to a venue that was built for speed. Once an airfield, now one of the finest racetracks in the world. It's qualifying day here at Silverstone for the British Grand Prix.
So qualifying about to get underway then for our final home Grand Prix in Ultimate Career here at Silverstone, returning to the former RAF base turned racetrack. And of course, as I said, in terms of the power unit, I did make the change in the energy store from the first component to the second one. The ICE is a bit risky. It's our main concern in terms of the power unit right now. But you know what? We're going to run a risk. If it blows in the race, it blows in the race. I'm not too concerned in terms of where, because we've got that 10-point cushion should we need it. But through the last few corners here to start our first flying lap out of turn 18 and onto the Hamilton straight for the first time, going towards the right-hander of Abbey. Turn 1 taken practically flat out almost every time. Into the first corner we come. First right-hander, nice and smooth. On the grass bit they're going through turn 1. I'm going to try and avoid doing that too much over the course of the lap. But into turn 3 now, in towards Village and past the grandstand on our left, and trying to avoid these sausage curbs waiting for us in turns 3 and 4 on the apexes there. So out of turn 4 and onto the Wellington straight for the first time. First DRS zone over the 2 on the circuit. Go down towards turn 6 and looking for the end of that first sector. It's a 28.2 to get us started. Only a green first sector, so not a fantastic start compared to some of the cars around us. Lawson goes fastest there, 1:29.6 for the RB driver. I have to wait for one of our closer rivals to come through to set the true benchmark in terms of our pace going into this Grand Prix weekend. Into the last few corners here to complete our first lap through turns 16 and 17, avoiding the sausage curbs this time, and through towards turn 18 to complete our first lap. It's going to be a 1:29.0, but Norris is faster, 1:28.0, so Norris quite a way in front here, second in front of us in terms of raw pace to start this thing off. So not a fantastic start to qualifying. Gasly in second. We're still P3, but as more car set times, we fall to P9 after the first lap. So Tsunoda in second place, Piastri third, Hamilton fourth, and Gasly doing surprisingly well there in P5. The Alpine coming into its own in the last few races. But onto our second lap now, improving by 3/4 of a second here, almost 8/10, going up towards Stowe, turn number 15 for the second time in qualifying. Only a green second sector, but a purple first sector here. P11 on the board and looking for a good end to qualifying. For the last 2 corners now, looking to try and nab another pole position if we can, getting a good enough exit through these last few corners, out of turn 17, on the throttle once again, through turn 18 to complete the lap, losing a bit of time in the last sector there, half a second improvement overall, and that will put us into P5 on the starting grid, so 3rd row for our final home race in Ultimate Career.
Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix.
So Norris takes a home pole, then Tsunoda in second, Hamilton third, Russell fourth, and we qualify 5th. So 4 Brits in the top 5, Piastri, Verstappen, Gasly, Albon and Hulkenberg round out your top 10. So again, the Williams cars and the Sauer was doing okay in quali, but now it's time for us to get underway for one more race at Silverstone in Ultimate Career.
Welcome everyone as you join us at a former Second World War aircraft base, now converted into one of the great motor racing tracks. Britain is one of only 2 countries to have held a Grand Prix in every year of the Formula One World Championship, and long may that continue. This is Silverstone, and this is the British Grand Prix. With good opportunities to overtake at the end of the Wellington and Hangar Straights, there's a lot of potential for close action around the 3.6 miles of Silverstone circuit. With 18 corners and average lap speeds of around 145 miles per hour, it's also one of the longest and quickest circuits on the calendar. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. Lando Norris put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And Yuki Tsunoda completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Hamilton, Russell, Cohen and Verstappen, Gasly, Albon, Fernando Alonso and Ollie Behrman, Doohan, Hadjar, Esteban Ocon and Piastri, Bortoleto, Antonelli, Carlos Sainz and Lance Stroll, Hülkenberg and Liam Lawson rounds off the grid. With preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. And alongside me in the commentary box today, a man who I always look up to, which is easier said than done, Anthony Davidson. Now, we had great fun watching them win last time out. What a great victory it was. But can they carry that into today's race?
It's the important one, isn't it, Crofty? You've done it once, can you do it again? But, you know, if you start believing in yourself and the confidence starts to build, that inner confidence is what you need. And you can carry that through to future races, including this one, and you set that ball rolling. That's the critical thing that they're looking for here. And I believe if you've got that first race win or a win at any stage, it can start to roll with you in a good way.
Here we go then, no more talking, time for action for the British Grand Prix from P5 on the starting grid, and our last chance to take a second victory at our home Grand Prix. The two strategies on offer here look quite close, only about 3/10 or so covering both strategies. We're going to go for the default strategy and go on the soft tyres to start things off, and then we're going to push on the hards by a lap longer in the second stint. Hopefully that should pay off for us.
The formation lap gets underway, and every driver will be looking to settle in for the race ahead, making sure that their car is ready for the battle once the lights go out.
So medium tyres, the main weapon of choice for the majority of the pack behind us. But in terms of the top 6, 5 of the 6 top starters on soft tyres, as well as Doohan, Ocon and Hülkenberg for the back. Hülkenberg taking a penalty.
So as all the cars take their positions on the grid, the teams will be hoping their strategies pay off for them in today's race. The question I'm asking is which teams have got it right, which ones have got it horribly wrong?
So through the last corners then, about to get the British Grand Prix underway. It's round 9 of the World Championship, and we come into this one 10 points clear of the driver starting to our right for the run towards that first corner. That's Max Verstappen in P6 there. Norris on pole, looking for his second straight win this season and his first victory at home. Hamilton there in front in P3, Russell P4. Could it be an all-British podium for the first time today? Have to wait and see as the last few cars take their spots there. Hülkenberg and Hadjar, the last 2 cars on the grid as the lights come on for the British Grand Prix. It's Norris versus Tsunoda for the run to the first corner. Lights out, foot to the floor. We are racing here at Silverstone. Good start from the cars on the left there. Hamilton, Norris getting in front. Yuki falling back to P3. Now down to P4 as we go around the outside. Abbey going towards into turn 1. Passing Tsunoda going into turn 2 and into the first braking zone. P3 off the start. So 2 places gained. Then Tsunoda and Russell got bogged down. That whole right side of the grid got bogged down. So Norris leads away nice and comfortably then from Hamilton in second place. And we now sit in third place. So good points for Ferrari in this first lap. Good start. Not sure where Max is. I assume still down in P6. So a good start for us. Try and gain some points on our main championship rivalries to go into turn 6 for the first time. Bit deep there off our line, but keeping the car under control. And on to lap number 3 now. A few laps later, DRS in play. And looking to try and close and lose. We've used a lot of battery here, but Verstappen up to P4 now, but a second and a half back as we go wide on corner exit out to Stowe there. Hamilton's still in front of us. Yellow flag has been deployed behind. Looks like one of the Saubers has got concern. Not sure if it's Hülkenberg or Bortoleto who's got some kind of problem early on this Grand Prix. One of them's pulled over, and it is Gabriel Bortoleto who's out of the Grand Prix. So the rookie Sauber driver now going out as our first retiree, just a couple of laps into this Grand Prix. Piastri's there behind him. We see Piastri outside of the top 10 in qualifying. Work to be done for him over the course of the Grand Prix, but Bortoleto then experiences, I think, his first retirement of the season. Sauber have had their problems over the course of the campaign. Hülkenberg scored all the points so far, to my mind. But here comes Bortoleto then, having to pull the car over, going into Stowe, And that'll be a race over from as the smoke pours from his kick Sauber there. So first retiree of the Grand Prix, down to 19 cars, but our focus remains on chasing down Lewis in front. Onto lap 4 now, and the yellow flag still there waiting for Bortoletto's cars to be cleared, going towards Stowe. But Verstappen's on our tail though, he's closed the gap massively here. He's a lot better, he's got a lot more power on him compared to we do. Of course, our worn ICE causing us problems as Verstappen breezes past as if we're not even there. And Verstappen moves into 3rd place, the Dutchman now gaining points on us in terms of the championship scenario. Onto lap 5 now, he's working on chasing Lewis down as we run in 4th place behind him.
Okay, mate, it's Verstappen ahead. Right, here we go. Let's look to get past quickly and put them on the back foot.
An early ambition then is to try and get back around Max Verstappen in this Grand Prix, but Verstappen's Red Bull a fair bit faster than our Ferrari today, and we're struggling on tyres too a lap later as Max not only gets away from us, but also makes the pass on Lewis for 2nd place. So Max working his way towards Lando Norris, of course. If Max should win the race from here and we finish in P4, Max reclaims the lead of the World Championship. We've got to try and avoid doing that today. On to lap 9 now, going to make our first stop 2 laps early, because these soft tyres are wearing thin, we're actually falling away, so I don't see much point us being on these worn tyres, so we're going to switch things up and try and put ourselves on the hard tyres 2 laps earlier and try and gain some time back on Verstappen and Hamilton. It's been a tough ask, I doubt it will work, but it's something you've got to try these things sometimes, because it might just pay off for us with the right scenarios. Into the pit lane now, first stop of the race, onto those hard tyres, 2.4 second stop, and we are away. Good stop then from our team at Ferrari. Heading up towards the pit exit now, long run to the pit exit here at Silverstone, one of the longest of the season, and everyone passing through now. We're down to the last running cars in P19. Bortoletto obviously P20 out to the Grand Prix. Liam Lawson will be our first target waiting for us on pit exit to make our way out the pit lane now. Pit limiter turned off and sliding off almost towards the barriers there. That could have been costly for us, but saving the car only just and emerging back on the circuit in P19 as we say, going up towards turn 3. Lawson, the next car in front of us. Stroll there in P16, and of course Lando leading from Max in 2nd and Lewis still in 3rd place, but those two have split up a little bit here. Max pulling away from Lewis, starting to work on chasing down Norris. On to lap 11 now, the lap we would have been pitting on and closing up on Liam Lawson. Again, a 5-second gap in these last few laps, but crucially Norris is still coming out in front of us here, as is Verstappen. Both cars at the pit exit already, but emerging into a train. So both cars come into traffic, whereas we didn't. Verstappen is at the back of this train now, 6.4 in front of us in 13th. Norris is further ahead in the train. He was obviously a few seconds in front, but Lawson is our main concern here, going up towards turn 4 and looking to try and get around Lawson as soon as we can with DRS in play, and then try and close on Verstappen's train. Hopefully he gets stuck behind those cars and we make some moves trying to close up to him. So DRS in play then on Lawson, the run down towards turn 6, once again closing the gap as much as we can. Objective to try and achieve 14th place, which is only the car in front of us. Basically got to get around Lawson, and we pass that nice and easy. Going to try and make a move if we can, going into turn 7 here. On the inside, the AI have done this year upon year upon year. You try and get underneath them a bit going through turn 7, and they give you all the room in the world to try and squeeze past. So Lawson down the thought end, and things cycle back through on lap 13. We're up to P6 now, but a few cars yet to stop, in particular Carlos Sainz, who's currently giving Hamilton all kinds of trouble there. Verstappen is far in front of him, and Norris, of course, pulling away with his race leading. Alonso yet to pit, but going through Magnussen Beckett here and looking for the Chapel on corner exit and closing up all the way to Sainz and Hamilton here, to the point we're actually back in DRS range of both cars as we leave Chapel and go down the hangar straight towards Stowe once again here. So at the halfway stage of the race, back on our teammate's tail, and the chase is on once again. But Hamilton makes the pass on Sainz going into Stowe. Let's try and close as much as we can, try and not avoid losing too much time if at all possible. But Sainz backs off a bit, goes into the pit lane, and we're now back in range of our teammate. Verstappen though still a bit in front as it stands in what is now 2nd place. On to lap 20 now. We spent quite a few laps here tailing our teammate Lewis Hamilton as we go up towards Stowe once again, just looking for a chance to make some kind of move here. But Hamilton has been on it rapid today, and we haven't actually lost to Lewis yet in terms of this season, in terms of races we've both finished. So hopefully we try and continue that today as we go wide through Stowe once again. Going to try and make a send if we can, going towards turn 16, down the inside there, making a mistake and turning it into a positive move around the outside of Hamilton and taking P3 back. So onto the podium once again, and of course if Max wins this race and we finish in 3rd, then it will stay tied in the World Championship. We'll hold the lead, I think, based on race victories. So it could be even, I'm not entirely sure about that, I have to double check. But regardless, if things stay as they are right now, we've maintained our lead because Max only gains 3 points, which won't be enough for him. But we're going to keep ourselves in front of Hamilton, who's keeping us under constant pressure. Makes a pass to the outside going towards turn 6. Going to send it back inside, going into the left-hander and getting back in front of our teammate. Got to try and keep our engine temps under control as much as we can here in these last few laps of the race. Only 6 laps to go in this Grand Prix. Make our way out of turn 7, going towards Woodcock, turn 8, and obviously the run towards Cops. Hamilton, fantastic exit there, makes the pass, going towards the right-hander at turn 9. Going to try and follow in his wake here, going up towards turn 9 into the round. We go contact and tapping Hamilton's back right tyre. We get past, throw the hands up in frustration, but that was a reckless and unnecessary dive, and it shows there. And now we put ourselves in a position where Hamilton is trying to get back around us with DRS. So onto that 22 a lap later and making their way towards Stowe once again. Hamilton, fantastic run on the left, makes the pass, going towards turn 15 once again. I try and keep ourselves in line right behind our teammate here, going through turn 15 and looking for a corner exit while it's Stowe is not my corner today. Going up towards turn 16 now, setting it once again. Hamilton locks up a little bit there, going through the chicane and on corner exit. I try and bring ourselves in around the outside. It's dead even in front of the home fans who are on their feet here out of turn 18 to begin lap number 23 of this Grand Prix. 4 laps to go in this thing, and Lewis once again falls back behind us. No threat from behind. Russell is currently in 5th place. No threat to us as of right now. Norris leading Verstappen, but Verstappen is closing that gap. Those two about to go scrapping for the race victory here, and on to lap 25, 2 laps later, making their way towards Stowe. Verstappen is looking for the race lead off Norris, and you'll see it flicker, and Verstappen, for a brief moment here, takes the lead. And of course, if Max does take the win, then of course he ties us in the World Championship, and if Lewis gets us 2, then we lose that lead by 3 points. So Verstappen, it's imperative to us that Norris keeps Max at bay and we keep Lewis at bay too. Up towards Stowe once again, keeping Lewis behind us for the minute, and on to the last lap now, going down the Wellington straight towards turn 6. Once again, no threat from Lewis, who's giving it all he's got with ERS behind us, going in towards the second sector now. But up front, all eyes are on Lando Norris and Max Verstappen, going towards Magnussen Beckett for the 26th and final time, as Norris tries to hold off Verstappen and achieve his dream of a home Grand Prix victory for McLaren, as we failed to do last season. DRS in play for Verstappen out of Chapel. One more time towards Stowe here. Max closing all the time for the run towards turn 15. Gets a fantastic charge. Tries the outside. Norris covers him off. Verstappen tries the inside for a split second. Thinks better of it. Keeps in line. And these two will not come to blows this year, but they'll go toe-to-toe for the race win. And Norris is a few corners away now from victory. Into turn 16 becomes for the final time here. And Hamilton is up our chaff, giving us late concern. The run towards Stowe ourselves. Hamilton charges past on the outside. Norris takes the win. We send it through Stowe and into 3rd place once again, and that might just be all she wrote here into the last few corners. Hamilton giving us constant pressure all the way here. Sonoda 3 seconds back in P5, again soaking it up. Later on the Grand Prix, it'll be P3 for us and one last podium at our home Grand Prix. That was a tough one, and perhaps a result that we probably didn't warrant given the performance day. We weren't quite on it as usual. So, unfortunately, perhaps our worst Grand Prix all season, given the form we've been on over the course of the campaign. But you know what? It's a podium finish. It's 15 points, and Max still won't catch us in the World Championship.
Here's the checkered flag, and our winner has Landoed. It's Lando Norris for victory.
And that's 2 wins in a row now, of course, Crofty. And it marks the fact that it's not a fluke. So, you know, their head's in the right space. What more can we see going forwards?
And once all the hard work is over, and after lap of brilliant racing, it's time now to celebrate with our podium trio. He holds the trophy aloft, and why shouldn't he? A richly deserved win today for Lando Norris.
So Lando Norris then wins the British Grand Prix, the next British driver to win his home Grand Prix. Verstappen in 2nd place gains 3 points on us, but not the lead in the World Championship. We maintain our advantage by 7 points to the Dutchman there on the podium in 2nd. But celebration to McLaren, then they take their 2nd victory in 2 races. Norris' 2nd win of the season. Let's have a look now at the final results in this British Grand Prix, and with 7 rounds to go, where that leaves us in terms of the World Drivers' Championship.
After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time out? Be sure to join us once again as we continue to bring you all the excitement of Formula One.
So Hamilton finishes in 4th place, then Tsunoda finishes in 5th, Russell 6th, Piastri comes from 14th to 7th in the end, Albon 8th, Alonso finishes 9th, and Pierre Gasly rounds out the points paying places just in front of his teammate Jack Doohan. And of course, Bortoleto, the one retiree from this Grand Prix. So 19 finishes today here at Silverstone. In terms of the World Championship, then we'll maintain our advantage by 7 points. But Norris, now within a race victory, is 23 points back. Is this now going to be a 3-car race as it was at this stage last season? We'll have to wait and see if Norris can continue his form. But in terms of the constructors, Red Bull lead by 22 to McLaren and 25 to Ferrari. So Red Bull still just in front here. But guys, that will do it in terms of Ultimate Career for today. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Will it be a 3-car race? Let me know down in the comments below what you think. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more future F1 content. Have an absolutely fantastic day, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Goodbye.